Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'd like to propose something. Let's take a look back at our childhood and ask ourselves if our cartoon heroes can still inspire us today in everyday life. And if the answer is yes, then which qualities can truly influence our lives? What can be applied in sports, in relationships, in careers, in difficult moments? Stay with me because today we'll discover what we can keep from childhood and how can we apply those lessons in real life. Goku. He shows us, first of all, what it truly means to never give up. No matter how strong the opponent is, he never starts a fight believing he has already lost. For Goku, every battle is an opportunity to become better. The second great lesson is discipline. Goku was not born the strongest. He became strong through constant training, hard work, repetition, and sacrifice. He shows us that true power is built over time, not overnight. Goku also teaches us something very important: kindness. He sees the good in people and believes that almost anyone can change. He does not fight out of hatred, but to protect what he loves. Another important lesson is that Goku is not afraid to push beyond his limits. Every time it seems he cannot go any further, he discovers a new strength within himself. This reminds us that limits are often just in our minds. But perhaps Goku's most important quality is what is called the beginner's mindset. Goku is always ready to learn, always curious. He's never arrogant. He's willing to learn even from those weaker than him, even from those he has defeated, or even from former enemies. In my opinion, this mindset is essential for today's athletes and martial art practitioners. Because the moment you become selfish and believe you have nothing left to learn, that is the moment you stop evolving. We'll probably talk about this in the future because I think this is a very important lesson for all of us. True growth begins when you remain always a student. Spider-Man. Peter shows us, first of all, what it means to keep going even when life is hard. He's not a hero with an easy life. He struggles. He makes mistakes. He loses people he loves. But he never gives up on doing what is right. The second important lesson is sacrifice. Peter Parker constantly has to choose between living a normal life and being a hero. Very often, he gives up his own happiness so that others can be safe. Through him, we learn that doing the right thing is not always comfortable or rewarded. Spider-Man also teaches us the lesson of humility. Unlike many other heroes, he's not arrogant. He doubts himself, makes mistakes, and learns from them. He remains human and relatable even if he has extraordinary abilities. Another important lesson is strategic thinking. Spider-Man does not rely only on strength or reflexes. He prepares carefully for each fight, analyzes his opponents, and looks for their weaknesses. He shows us that intelligence, adaptation, and preparation can make the difference even when you are at a disadvantage. But perhaps the most important lesson Spider-Man teaches us is this: with great power must always come great responsibility. This lesson feels especially relevant for children and teenagers who start practicing martial arts or contact sports and become stronger than their peers or friends. When properly integrated, this idea can make the difference between a bully and the protector of the weak. Children who benefit from physical training meant to make them stronger can become better people, more responsible, and more aware of what they are capable of. When they learn to use their strength not to dominate, but to protect. Batman. Bruce shows us, above all, what true discipline means. He has no superpowers. Everything he is comes from constant training, self control, and years of preparation. Batman reminds us that discipline can transform an ordinary person into something extraordinary. Another essential quality is mental strength. Batman does not rely only on physical power. He stays calm under pressure, thinks clearly in chaos, and does not let fear control him. On the contrary, he learns to use fear as a tool. Batman also teaches us the importance of purpose. Every action he takes is guided by a clear mission. He does not fight for glory or recognition, but because he feels responsible for protecting the world. This sense of purpose gives him direction even in the darkest moments. A key lesson from Batman is preparation and strategy. Perhaps even more than Spidey, he studies his opponents in advance, makes plans for every scenario, and anticipates failure. Batman wins not because he's stronger, but because he's always prepared. He shows us that strategy and vision can defeat even the greatest threats. Batman represents self mastery. He controls his anger, pain, and desire for revenge. Despite the traumas he carries, he chooses not to become what he fights against. This ability to control yourself is one of the most difficult and most important forms of strength. The most important lesson we can learn from Batman is to never give up. We often see him fighting characters with superpowers, characters who could kill him with a single blow. He, even though he has no superpowers, has the most important quality. He never gives up. I remember he saying this to a villain in an episode of Justice League. I do have a superpower. I never give up. Batman is aware of his training, his qualities, and his strategic intelligence, but also his weaknesses. I believe any adult, whether an athlete or not, can learn something from the Dark Knight. We can see that many traits are common among the heroes we analyze today, but each of them delivers the lesson in their own characteristic style. Thus, we have the freedom to learn from the hero we resonate with the most. Now, I want to ask you, which character from your childhood inspired you the most? And do you think the lessons from you learned from them are still relevant today? Write me in the comments. See you next time.